The village is set to hold a devil hunting ceremony. This involves training all eligible unmarried women in the village. They must not only perform captivating charm dances, but also practice the best positions for mating with the devil. This is to ensure they can give birth to a daughter. The ultimate winner will become the village's queen. Originally, this village was secluded in a fog-filled valley, inhabited solely by women. The villagers have lived collectively for generations, secluded in the valley. They regard all men as devils. Today, the supreme ruler of the village is Queen Bua. On specific days, she gathers the villagers for tribute ceremonies, then distributes food to each household. Afterwards, she hires dancers to perform traditional rituals to thank the moon goddess. During the ceremony, she also announces the preparation for the upcoming Devil Hunter selection. Queen Bua has a beautiful daughter, Sompoi, on whom she pins high hopes to be the next queen. However, Sompoi feels inferior and believes her friend Kara is more suitable to be the village queen. Sompoi and Kara, inseparable best friends since childhood, grew up together. Kara, the daughter of the village guardian Ara, inherited some of her mother's traits such as being fierce and combative. Sompoi, on the other hand, is gentle, quiet, and fond of studying pharmacology. One day, while playing in the forest, a snake unexpectedly bit Kara. Kara wanted to kill the snake to protect them, but Sompoi stopped her, stating that the snake was not deadly enough to justify killing it. If she killed it, she would face the death penalty. The village has a tradition that all must follow the will of the moon god, which includes not killing innocently, even animals. The villagers then start preparing for the Devil Hunter selection. The queen motivates everyone, and before the selection ceremony begins, the girls are confined in the Devil Hunter training room. Then, all girls begin their training mode. Sompoi often gets distracted during training, but luckily, her best friend Kara frequently helps her. When Kara asked why Sompoi was absent-minded, she learned that Sompoi had dreamed about the devil. Last night, Sompoi dreamed of a charming man whom she recognized as the devil everyone talks about. Surprisingly, the devil was not ugly and terrifying, as described by their teacher, but rather handsome and adorable. That day, Sompoi and Kara were strolling in the woods and accidentally discovered that someone had killed many sparrows. Upon learning this, Queen Bua immediately held a repentance ceremony, pretending to be possessed by the moon goddess, and accused someone of killing life. She warned that if the perpetrator was not punished and repented, it would jeopardize the entire village's safety, and she herself would meet a bad end. Soon after, a girl screamed in fright, and an investigation revealed that women in the village who did not menstruate on time would become laborers. A mother had faked her daughter's menstruation using sparrow blood to mimic menstrual blood, triggering the village's rule against killing. They faced a death penalty. The mother pleaded for everyone to let her leave the valley, but Queen Bua said the outside was too dangerous. Finally, she declared that the moon goddess would decide their fate. The mother and daughter were tied up in the woods overnight for the moon goddess to decide their life or death. The next morning, everyone was shocked to find the mother and daughter gone, and only fresh blood remaining, indicating they had met with misfortune. However, the village women believed this was the moon goddess's will and a punishment for their wrongdoing, but in reality, that was not the case. Seeing this, Sompoi had a nightmare that night. She dreamed her mother urged her to pass the selection and become the queen of the village, or they would be in danger. Then she saw herself and her mother also tied to stakes, about to face the moon goddess's judgment. Startled, Sompoi screamed loudly and woke up from the nightmare. She was upset about why the moon goddess was so cruel to the mother and daughter. Kara hoped Sompoi would succeed in becoming the queen so that she could then change this rule. The teacher first explained the anatomy of the devils outside the village, who were actually the men outside the village. They would be informed about what kind of man to choose and taught the best positions for conceiving, to ensure they could successfully give birth to girls. However, Sompoi was under great stress, worried that not being selected would affect her mother. Her friends would comfort her warmly and give her unique flowers to help her relax. Then the teacher would check each girl's private parts to ensure they had very standard sexual characteristics. Seeing this, Sompoi became nervous and vomited. Fortunately, her mother came to comfort her. The last one to be inspected was Sompoi. The inspecting teacher looked serious and frowned upon seeing her private parts, seeming to have something to say, but swallowed her words. Out of respect for the queen's authority, Sompoi, who should have been eliminated, was allowed to pass. Next came the running segment for the girls, where they had to clamp several red beans between their thighs, pass through several rounds of tests, and return within the time of 1 incense stick, with the beans not falling as the criteria for passing. The girls ran eagerly, hoping to pass and become qualified hunters. However, continual eliminations occurred. They faced challenges of climbing stairs and jumping rope, with a challenge failure if the beans fell from between their thighs. Fortunately, with Kara's help, Sompoi safely passed this round of the exam. The remaining 10 girls moved on to the next phase of the competition. The examiner explained the next round's rules, which were to determine who had the best seduction skills to bewitch men. He mentioned that the devils outside looked ugly, were despicable, and ignorant, spending their days drinking and reveling. Unbeknownst to Sompoi, the handsome man of her dreams was outside the valley, preparing to build a railway with a group. A mysterious old man spoke of a hidden village surrounded by river and shrouded in mist, a natural protective barrier. He claimed to have seen the most beautiful women in the valley, but cruelly, they had taken his eyes. Yet everyone thought it was just a legend. The next day, the girls entered the final round of testing, which was judged by 3 examiners. Kara went first in a mock exam, effortlessly demonstrating her expert seduction skills. When it was Sompoi's turn, she presented a flower to the examiner. Seeing her use such a childish trick humorously, the examiner removed his mask and urged her to be more serious. After gathering her emotions, Sompoi opened her eyes and, imagining the face of her dream man, happily embraced him. But when she opened her eyes and saw a bug on the flower, she screamed in fright, leading to her elimination. Soon saw a turn of events. A mother accused one of the examiners of having an affair with another contestant's mother, demanding that the results be annulled and reassessed. A doctor suggested that the results of this final round be invalidated and decided anew by the moon goddess, meaning the queen would make the final decision. The queen was pleased, as she would ensure her daughter's successful selection. That evening, they went to the queen's meditation cave, where the candidates were asked to meditate quietly. However, Sompoi couldn't help but think of the man from her dreams, and one girl was eliminated for falling asleep during meditation. Then, the remaining 4 girls chanted spells while dipping their hands into the water. After finishing the spells, they all withdrew their hands, but only Sompoi's hand emitted a golden glow, signifying the moon goddess's choice of Sompoi as the demon hunter. However, the guardian Mrs. Ara, upon seeing Sompoi's hand, immediately realized it was a trick by the queen and the doctor, as she had seen the doctor hastily leaving the cave with a medicine powder. Despite understanding it was the ruler's will, Ara chose to turn a blind eye. Finally, the day to leave the valley arrived. All the girls packed their bags, and the queen distributed golden keys to each one, blessing them. The law stipulated that their children must be girls. Boys could not survive, and mothers of sons would be demoted to laborers. This law applied to everyone, including the queen's daughter, who would lose her position if she bore a cursed child. Following the plan, the girls navigated through the mist to the outside world. At their departure, Kara explained the rules, emphasizing the importance of safeguarding the keys, which were made from a plant unique to their valley, known outside as gold. They would need it to return to the valley. The girls then left the forest, found the wooden house on their map, meant as their dormitory, and settled in after Kara confirmed the password with a contact. They enjoyed delicious food and changed into clothes worn by women in the outside world. Following their map, they ventured out to hunt. They frightened a passing drunkard and later reached a bustling market. Unbeknownst to Sompoi, The man of her dreams was also at the market, but they passed by each other without noticing. The girls saw men eating barbecued meat and screamed in horror at the sight of many animals being killed. Panicking, they rushed to escape, but unknowingly, one girl's golden key was dropped and picked up by a handsome young man named Abai, who planned to sell it for money but eventually changed his mind. Meanwhile, the girls reached their dormitory, calmed themselves after discussion, and decided to do everything possible to complete their mission and return home as soon as possible. The next day, after dressing up, they went out again to hunt. They encountered a group of good-looking men and successfully lured the men they chose using their learned seduction skills. Suddenly, Sompoi realized she had lost her key and rushed back to look for it without informing her friends. Kara, preparing emotionally, began to flaunt her sexiness and charm, which Abai accidentally witnessed from afar, and recognized her as the girl he had fallen for at the market. Soon, Kara noticed Sompoi had run off and decided to go look for her friend. Unexpectedly, Sompoi met the man of her dreams, whom she had seen in her dreams sitting under a large tree drawing her. She approached him as if enchanted, touching his face to ensure he was real. The confused man instinctively stepped back, confirming his reality for Sompoi. Recalling the seduction techniques she learned in the valley, she mimicked these moves on him. However, her excessive enthusiasm scared him off. It turned out he was a gentleman who sternly pushed away her advances. Sompoi bluntly told him that he was the man the moon goddess had sent for her to have children with. Hearing his serious reply, she burst out laughing, unable to understand the rules of the outside world, having grown up in a village of only women. She persisted in trying to convince him to help her have a child. Confused by her naivety, the handsome man mistook the woman for a fool. After asking her name, he pretended to cooperate, claiming the moon goddess instructed her to wait under the tree for him. Innocent Sompoi believed him, and, feeling reassured after knowing his name, allowed him to leave her sight. Meanwhile, her friend Kara was searching for her everywhere. She encountered Abai's partner and was struck by his impressive appearance. She scrutinized him from head to toe, shocking him with her boldness and enthusiasm when she praised him as a suitable father candidate. Despite his confusion, Kara had more pressing matters and left to find Sompoi. She found Sompoi asleep under a tree. After hearing about the dreamy man and his instructions to wait for him, she told Sompoi that the man had deceived her. Learning that her golden key was lost, Kara took out her own key, promising to take her home when needed. Abai, who had been following her, was tempted by the sight of the gold. That evening, all the girls returned to the dormitory to share their experiences. All found husbands except Kara and Sompoi. Kara tried to persuade Sompoi to give up her fixation on the dreamy man and consider other suitable men as husbands. Still, Sompoi refused to abandon the man chosen for her by the moon goddess. That night, Kara went to Abai's place. When she made advances, Abai readily accepted, and they spent a pleasant night together. However, Abai lacked honor and stole her golden key while she slept. Meanwhile, the guardian Allah could hardly believe she had seen her sister. She cried silently as her sister looked on, bewildered. Later, she went inside to talk with her sister. She did not remember her past. When Allah saw the necklace on her sister's neck, she was certain that the woman who looked like her was her sister who had died 18 years ago. Each sister had one such necklace. After making an excuse, Allah returned to the misty town, rushing to her sister's grave. She frantically dug up the grave, only to find it contained just wood, no body. She recalled that years ago, her sister and Queen Bua had given birth at the same time. Bua's mother claimed her sister died in childbirth and forbade her from seeing the body. Now, Allah realized her sister's death was a well-planned hoax, and Bua's mother had deceived the entire town. Knowing the truth, Allah cried bitterly. Unbeknownst to her, she was in great danger. Learning that Guardian Allah had left the village, she blamed her for breaking the rules and causing severe consequences, accusing her of provoking the mist spirit and harming the people. The queen used her authority to demand a private interrogation of Allah. During the interrogation, Allah confronted her about her sister's death 18 years ago and asked what her mother had done. as she had seen her sister alive. Queen Bua claimed ignorance and denied everything. When Allah accused her family of being frauds, the queen framed her for attempting a coup and imprisoned her again. Meanwhile, in Misty Village, the other girls successfully became pregnant and prepared to return to their hometowns. However, Kara's belly showed no signs of pregnancy. Sompoi went in search of the man of her dreams. Kara decided to accelerate her plans to conceive, and also made efforts to find Sompoi. Sompoi found her dream man, Akin, waiting under a tree. She suggested they have children together, but Akin refused again, stating he would only be with a woman he loved. Concerned for her safety alone in the forest, Akin reluctantly stayed with her. By dawn, Akin planned to part ways with Sompoi, but she insisted on having his child and traveling with him. Suddenly, Akin remembered a story he had heard days before. Meanwhile, Akin heard urgent calls from a worker. Akin and his foreign friend were planning a railway that would save time and money by passing through Misty Village. The local village chief warned them that demons lived in the Mist Valley. Akin and his friend decided to scout the area before finalizing the railway route. While Akin was out scouting and met Sompoi under the tree, his curious foreign friend ventured into the dense mist despite the workers' warnings and heard beastly sounds, prompting a panicked retreat. Unable to ask Sompoi further, Akin rushed after the fleeing worker. Learning that his friend had disappeared in the thick fog, he wanted to search the area, but the frightened worker refused to lead the way. Akin had to go alone. Following him, Sompoi learned of his plan to search the Mist Valley and warned him of the dangers, urging him not to go. Akin then sought his father's help, who agreed to assist in the search on the condition that Akin leave with him. Soon after, warriors reported finding a foreign body in the forest. Akin went to confirm and discovered it was indeed his friend. His face was covered in scratches, leading everyone to suspect he was killed by a wild beast. However, Chen's father also had similar scratches, evidently from an encounter with the beast years ago. Meanwhile, after imprisoning Ara, Queen Bua appointed her subordinate as the new guardian. Enping wanted to visit Ara but was denied by the queen and ordered to guard the edge of the mist instead. Despite her loyalty, Enping went to the prison to see Ara, but was sternly reprimanded by the warden, who reminded her to be grateful for the queen's life-saving grace. Ara angered the mist demon, which Queen Bua drove away with her flute. However, Ara remembered hearing flute sounds before the demon appeared, leading her to suspect the queen summoned it. Sompoi only wanted to have children with the man of her dreams to bear a daughter and return home to inherit her mother's throne. Despite her efforts to entice him, the nobleman wanted a life partner he loved. While he found her attractive, he couldn't convince himself to engage in a casual relationship, especially as Sompoi only wanted a father for her child, showing no understanding of romantic love. Chen, unaware of the woman's background, couldn't understand or accept her unusual views. Hearing she only wanted a father, he suggested she find any man in the market. Distressed, Sompoi had no choice but to complete her task on time. She decided to let go of her initial intention for the man of her dreams to father her child. Just then, a handsome woodcutter happened by. Seeing his striking appearance, Sompoi used her homeland's seduction techniques. In the woods, she flirted with the woodcutter, who, captivated by her beauty, immediately approached her. Mistaking him for her dream man in a dazed moment, she smiled knowingly and lay down, ready to conceive with him. Sompoi regained consciousness and realized the man was not the man of her dreams. It was too late to resist. Just as she was in danger, fortunately, her dream man came to her rescue. He saved her from the woodcutter, and she quickly threw herself into Chen's arms, crying from the shock. Chen held her tightly and gently soothed her by stroking her back. Later, Sompoi returned with Chen to the railway construction camp. They buried their deceased foreign friend together. Exhausted and shocked by the loss of his friend, Chen fainted. Sompoi lovingly cared for him by his side. In his dreams, Chen remembered his friend who loved building railways and dreamed of meeting a beautiful girl on the road. Upon waking, Chen hesitated about leaving this dangerous place, but seemed inclined to fulfill his friend's wish. While Sompoi was still trying to win over her dream man, she successfully became pregnant and prepared to return home. The girls encouraged Kara to hasten her pregnancy, or they might lose the chance to secure the queen's position before having their daughters. Disheartened, Kara heard that Abai had come to see her. After their previous encounter, Kara knew Abai had taken her golden key. She waited for him to fall asleep and took it back. Abai, discovering the gold bar missing, came looking for Kara and overheard her mission involved getting pregnant and that each girl accompanying her had a gold bar. He proposed a deal to help her get pregnant in exchange for a gold bar, clearly wanting more. When Kara learned Abai had taken Sompoi's gold bar, she demanded its return. After he refused, she picked up a knife, threatening to castrate him. Initially, Abai did not take Kara seriously, but he quickly realized his mistake as the seemingly frail girl proved to be fiercely formidable in a fight. He almost lost his life under Kara's knife, but luckily, it was just a warning from her. After retrieving Sompoi's gold bar, Kara no longer troubled him. When Abai returned home, he found a friend seeking help because some villagers had been captured by Chen's father's soldiers. Although Kara had deep conversations with Abai, a pregnancy test showed she was not pregnant. She had to continue her unfinished business and patiently wait for Sompoi's return. She ran into Abai, who was being chased. It turned out he needed to raise money to buy guns to rescue his villagers, but his impatient friend had gone alone to the forest to save them. Abai had to follow to help, almost losing his life since the enemies were armed. Seeing this, Kara understood everything and was moved by the loyalty between Abai and his friend. She approached Abai, agreeing to make the deal with him. They went to his small wooden house to discuss their plan again. When he woke up, Kara had already left. His friend asked if Abai had received the gold bar. Abai explained that he would get his payment once Kara was pregnant. However, Abai had changed his mind, knowing each girl from her hometown had a gold bar. He decided to follow Kara home, hoping to get more gold bars. Meanwhile, the queen visited Allah in prison. She tried to persuade her friend not to dwell on the past, explaining that her sister had given birth to a boy years ago and had fled the valley to avoid being demoted to a laborer, likely violating the law. Allah questioned why her mother had lied about her sister's death and why her sister had forgotten everything. She quickly realized it was the detoxifying water that caused her sister's memory loss. Hearing Bu-Ah's evasive answers and her suggestion to also drink the detoxifying water to forget the past, an angry Allah accused Bu-Ah of being a fraud and pointed out that the purification antidote was used to cover up crimes. An angry Queen Bu-Ah immediately convened a national meeting, declaring Allah guilty of an unforgivable crime. This was because the returning villagers were required to drink the purification water, yet Allah refused to take it. Therefore, tradition dictated that the moon god decide her fate. Soon, Allah was forcefully controlled and taken to the execution square. Her loyal subordinate, An Ping, tried to save her, but was stopped by Queen Bu-Ah's followers. As the standoff continued, girls returning to their hometown emerged from the thick fog. The guardians hurriedly reported the good news to the queen. The villagers scattered flowers to celebrate their return, and the girls were warmly welcomed and triumphantly returned to their hometown. The queen came to check on all the girls, but she did not see her daughter in Kara. After testing their urine with a medicinal solution, it was announced that all the returning girls were pregnant, and the villagers cheered for them. Queen Bu-Ah also inquired about her daughter, and learned she had not yet found the devil. Anxious and unable to do anything at the moment, she had to hurry to deal with Allah to silence those in the know, binding her to a tree stump in the forest and declaring that the moon god would judge her life or death. An Ping remained loyal to Allah and did not want a tragic end for her. When she heard the sound of a flute, she sprinted towards the tree stump, guessing that Queen Bu-Ah was playing it and that the so-called fog monster was actually controlled by the queen. Thinking of her friend's impending death, Queen Bu-Ah shed tears of sorrow. Over a month passed, and the 4 girls successfully returned home pregnant as they had wished. However, Princess Sompoi only wanted the man of her dreams to be the father of her child, but he was a righteous man who only wanted to spend his life with the woman he loved. Thus, Sompoi tried every way to seduce him to get pregnant. When Ah Chen fell ill and fainted, Sompoi gathered herbs for him and took meticulous care of him until he recovered. Ah Chen learned that Sompoi's special skill was treating the sick, which greatly impressed him and increased his admiration for her. He even praised her as a doctor who could save lives. Ah Chen asked Sompoi to demonstrate how other women flirt with men. Innocently, Sompoi gazed deeply into Ah Chen's eyes. Moved by her affectionate look, Ah Chen couldn't help but kiss her cheek. But that was all. It didn't progress further, as Sompoi hoped. However, their relationship became delicate after this heartfelt night, though Sompoi did not recognize this as love. That day, Ah Chen also received a notice from his superiors to stay put and pause the railway investigation due to a fatal incident, delaying the new route survey. This gave him more time to spend with Sompoi. He took a beautiful black and white photo of her, and then accompanied her to the market. He shared amusing stories from his hometown and introduced his family to Sompoi. Seeing his parents and sister in the photo, Sompoi was surprised that men and women lived together in Ah Chen's hometown, which he said was normal. Under his guidance, Sompoi saw a happy family of 3, and she expressed her desire to see it for herself. Meanwhile, Ah Bai, wanting the gold bar reward, asked Kara if she was pregnant. Learning that Kara was going to look for Sompoi, he followed her like a shadow, hoping to visit her hometown.
They returned to their dormitory together. After testing her urine, Kara found out she was pregnant, but lied to the dorm leader. She knew that if the dorm leader found out about her pregnancy, she would be sent back to the valley immediately. Kara wanted to return to her hometown with her best friend and asked Sompoi to try to get pregnant faster. Seeing that her friend was struggling to conceive, Kara became anxious and started thinking of ways to help. Kara shared the good news of her pregnancy with Ah Bai, who was thrilled to be a father. However, what surprised him was that Kara knew about his desire for more gold bars and suggested he help Sompoi get pregnant too, which would fulfill his wishes. Ah Bai was momentarily stunned. Despite the setbacks, Sompoi was not ready to give up. She boldly approached her crush again, offering herself to him. But Ah Chen rejected her once more. Sompoi suggested they could try conceiving before marriage, but Ah Chen set a condition. If she got pregnant, they must never part because he did not want his child to grow up like him without a father. Otherwise, it was not possible. After hearing this, Sompoi left heartbroken and ran outside where she encountered Kara. Kara pleaded with Sompoi not to be so willful and to accept the man she had found for her. Although reluctant, Ah Bai had his own responsibilities. He needed more gold bars to buy guns to save his fellow villagers, so he ended up leading Sompoi into the dark. What he didn't know was that Kara burst into tears after he left. While they hurriedly tried to conceive, they were unaware of the huge changes happening in their hometown. Kara's mother had already been tied to a stake by the queen and sent to her death under the charge of breaking the law. The queen then announced that En Ping would succeed Allah as the new leader and guardian of their community. She also declared publicly that for the sake of national peace, she would not tolerate even her closest friends. After dealing with Allah, the queen ordered the returning girls to drink an antidote and purifying water, which would make them forget everything outside the mountain village and cleanse their minds and bodies. The innocent girls all fainted after drinking the potion, unaware that it was not a purifier but a poison that caused amnesia. Queen Bua, concerned that other girls might have daughters before her own daughter returned, used a doctor's vulnerability as leverage. She forced the doctor to secretly deal with the pregnancies. Thus, the doctor gave 4 girls safflower water to drink. When these girls went to the river for a hot spring bath, 2 of them bled profusely, indicating miscarriages caused by the safflower water. Queen Bua, known for her integrity, declared that she would not tolerate any lawbreakers, regardless of who they were. She then summoned Enping and asked her to search for Sompoi outside. However, Enping refused to break the rules and leave, so she declined the queen's request. Unexpectedly, the queen did not give up but instead threatened her by taking her daughter hostage, urging her to protect Sompoi outside. Enping had to leave to ensure her daughter's safety, given that a 2-month deadline was set for the girls to return pregnant or face execution by the dorm leader. Meanwhile, Sompoi and Abai went to his cabin to initiate their plan to conceive. Both were reluctant and distressed. Sompoi was still infatuated with her dream man, and Abai was hesitant to advance on his wife's best friend. They hesitated for a long time until Kara unexpectedly arrived to supervise and urge them on. She advised Sompoi to close her eyes and imagine the man in front of her as her dream man. Abai was heartbroken that Kara had put him in such a position, but he had no choice but to comply for the sake of the gold bars and his loved one's request. Just as Abai was about to proceed under Kara's orders, Ah Chen arrived just in time to stop him. After Sompoi left, Ah Chen regretted letting her go and found out her whereabouts from Kara. He asked Sompoi if she had ever loved him. "I don't know what love is, but I've always thought of you," Sompoi sincerely replied, deeply moving Ah Chen. He immediately decided to marry Sompoi that night with their friends as witnesses in a simple ceremony. They looked into each other's eyes, deeply in love, with the air filled with romance. Sompoi might not have understood what marriage meant, but Ah Chen earnestly promised to take good care of her. Kara, however, looked worried during the ceremony, unsure if her best friend could easily leave after the wedding. Ah Chen and Sompoi then spent their wedding night together, officially becoming husband and wife. The next morning, Ah Chen worried his wife might have run away, but was relieved to find her still by his side. They enjoyed some wonderful days of married life together. Eventually, their efforts paid off, and Sompoi found herself pregnant. However, she felt no joy, especially after Ah Chen asked her to stay forever, hoping they could live happily as a family. "I want to be with you forever, Sompoi," he said. She briefly considered not returning home. Unbeknownst to her, her mother had sent Enping to find her. Enping had already arrived at the dormitory outside the mountain, where the dorm leader had indicated that the final 2-month deadline was approaching. After changing her clothes, Enping hurried outside to search for her. Meanwhile, Kara and Abai went to find Sompoi but encountered robbers on the way, who, armed with firearms, demanded Kara's gold. Following Abai's instruction, Kara threw the gold on the ground. As the robbers collected the gold, she took them by surprise, retaliating and engaging in a fierce fight. Abai blended in well with the others and eventually picked up a gun from the ground. Within seconds, he had killed all the robbers, showcasing the power of firearms to Kara and deepening her understanding of why Abai wanted to buy guns and bullets. Soon after, she found Sompoi playing the flute. Misled by the melancholic melody, Kara thought her friend was not pregnant. However, seeing the urine test proved otherwise. After a discussion, Sompoi clearly told her friend that she did not want to go home. She decided to stay with Ah Chen and asked Kara to return and become queen. After declaring her decision, she left alone for the railway construction site. Unbeknownst to Kara, the dorm leader secretly followed her and gave her a bottle of potion while she was packing. Unaware of its contents, Kara was about to drink it when Abai arrived just in time to save her life. Realizing Sompoi might be in danger, Kara hurried back to find her friend. Meanwhile, Enping was searching for Sompoi at the market, but instead saw a long-haired man going mad. She recognized him as the demon mist spirit who had hurt her before. Locals called him a drug addict, prone to crazy actions under the influence of drugs. Enping suspected it was the queen's doing. Indeed, her suspicion was correct. Queen Bua used flute music to summon a group of addicts and control them with addictive drugs to do her bidding. She had also passed on her flute-playing skills to her daughter